So far this week, we've looked at things that can help us to grow our mental well-being in the medium to long term, and things that can help us with some quick wins. But something else that can help strengthen and sustain our mental well-being is having a purpose in our lives that's beyond ourselves. Sometimes that purpose could be tied up with caring for children or aging relatives. Sometimes it might be focused on a job or a vacation or a business. And sometimes it can be linked with a specific charity or organization that's important to us. Many experts say that having a purpose that's bigger than just personal success makes us more resilient when we're confronted with life's challenges. If a key purpose in our lives is the well-being of our children or of any other dependent, or success in a career or a business, then with that motivation we can overcome all sorts of obstacles and challenges. However, it can be hugely destabilizing if that purpose is taken away. I was recently talking with someone who spent a large part of the last 20 years caring for her mother. Her mother passed away, and as well as dealing with the grief over her death, she was also struggling with the loss of her identity. Her sense of purpose as a carer was gone. Any sudden change in our circumstances, the death of a loved one, the loss of a job, children leaving home, the breakup of a relationship, etc., anything like that can leave us feeling out of balance, like we've been leaning against something and suddenly it's taken away. Having a purpose that's bigger than ourselves, something that we may never even complete in our own lifetime, helps to energize and fortify us for the storms that life throws at us. As I record this, we're coming towards the end of another year. The end of one year and the beginning of the next is a great time to pause and to reflect. However, in the endless stream of events and activities at this time of year, it's rare that we make the time to do that. I wonder if we sometimes surround ourselves with activities and noise so that we can avoid asking the big questions like, where have I come from and where am I going? However, pausing and taking time to ask these questions can help to frame a purpose for our lives. Some questions that help us to look back are things like, what things have pleased me most in this last year? What's energized me most and what's drained me? What are the most valuable lessons that I've learned? Who are the people that have influenced me most? And am I a better person for that influence? And when and how have I grown in this last year? Looking forward, the questions we most often ask ourselves are things like, what do I want to achieve in this next year, or what do I want to get done? However, as we covered last week, the more important question to ask is, who do I want to become in this next season of my life? Part of the problem in finding a purpose for our lives is that it's hard to pin down. What is my purpose in life? It's a very nebulous question. It can help to reframe the question to something like, what's important to me for my own development and what's important to me in the world beyond? In the 5th video of week 1, we stress the importance of the questions that help us to explore our deepest longings, exploring those things that lie behind our hopes and dreams. We identified that our deepest longings are really for something like a holistic sense of well-being, and not just for ourselves but for others as well. Our well-being will never be fully complete when we know other people are struggling. Other questions that can help us in thinking about those things that are important to us are, what would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? What motivates you enough that you are willing to struggle for it? When are you so involved in something that you forget to eat? What thing or things would you most want to change in the world? And if someone were writing your eulogy, what would you want to be remembered for? These are huge questions, and they can take some time to work through, but they are important because the answers to these questions can help us to find a larger purpose in our life. And that gives us the answer to the fourth question under the Planning to Live Differently section in the workbook. That fourth question: how can I keep focused on the reasons I am doing this? As we go into training to improve our well-being and the well-being of others, then knowing the answers to that question, knowing our purpose, helps to keep us motivated and fortifies us for all that life throws at us. A huge word of caution here, though. We need to be really careful that we don't tie our sense of acceptance of ourselves with achieving or making progress on our life's purpose. If we do, then we're right back into the cycle of grief that we spoke about at the beginning of this week. So, how do we keep energized and motivated when we're facing setbacks in pursuit of our life's purpose? Well, we'll look at that tomorrow. I hope you can join us.